anyway, we were talking about sugars in plants and how they work together. If I am incorrect in that, I sincerely apologize. You can tell me whether you agree or not, but
it's a constant balancing act of giving out carbohydrates into the soil to feed biology and feed the system in exchange for nutrients, and then what it needs to produce starch and things for grain production, fruit production, reproductive cycle. So as you get closer, the demand for starch gets ridiculously high, and it needs more carbohydrates for that. So then, yeah, it reduces. But early in the season, it's usually colder, and your overall responses are typically lower. So I like early sugar applications to get things going faster.
yeah.
And we irrigate. So the later in the season you get, the wetter it gets in those canopies, and the more anaerobics will drive.
Okay, gotcha.
So I don't know, for my...
There's a lot of guys dealing with anaerobic right now. Shane McKinney. I mean, he texted me this morning. He's like, hey, stressed corn, cold, wet ground, 7 inches of rain. This never happens. I don't know what to do at this point. He's got corn emerging, but it appears and sounds to be uneven. Which, yeah, you're going to have corn in the ground for weeks after cold, wet rains and, constant.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Don't add sugar. I found that to be wrong. And don't add nitrogen, because that makes it worse yet.
Okay. Because both of those boost biological activity.
So the biology is going to breathe.
Okay.
So sugar's going to drive the bacteria, and then nitrogen is going to feed the bacteria their oxygen source and drive it more anaerobic even yet. Although if you start to dry out, it can be a quick boost to turn it back around.
Sure.
So I found that nitrogen feeding it, well, for my area, it's a bad idea because we fertigate it on.
Yeah.
So if you fertigate it into mud, then you just pissed it away, more or less. It's just going to denitrify and be gone. The best response I ever seen was in wheat. The guy had irrigated it to where it was so lethargic it looked like it had mosaic.
Okay.
Just pure lime yellow, the whole field. And the guy come to me, I talked about this on podcast once. Mm-hmm. Guy come to me, he's like, what do I do? It's like 2 options. Run a 2x rate of fulvic with sulfur. And
this was last spring.
Yeah. This is when I went to Minneapolis after that. So I run a 2x rate of that with some sulfur, and then put some 2,4-D on because he had mustard like crazy. I said, don't put anything else out there. Just bare minimum and see if it comes out. Or strip till it and kill it. It's terrible. It was that bad. If it had been mine, I probably would have strip tilled it.
Yeah.
It was.
He called you. It wasn't even more than 2 days.
I told him to do that the next day. That day I left. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting in Chicago at the airport, and he called me and said he could see it already. It's like, oh, I think you're full of crap.
Ben told me, he's like, dude, there's no way.
There's no way it made that much difference that fast, which I don't know if it did. It's probably placebo. But I didn't see it for about 4 or 5 days. And then when I came back, holy crap, it was night and day. That stuff
ended up
came
making
out
pretty
of
good
it.
wheat.
Yeah,
I mean, right?
last year we couldn't get it cut.
Yeah.
Because it kept raining.
Right.
I don't think we cut that. He cut it till July.
Okay.
Which we typically cut in June. So it was a month behind. Sit there. But yeah, I think it was 80s. I wouldn't have gave you anything for it when I seen it. Like, I told him tear it out.
Yeah.
Go to Milo. It's just so sick.
Yeah. Well, and if he had needed to, if that couldn't turn the crop around, he wasn't in it for much money at all.
No, it was going to help it. He was crossing it anyway. He had weeds.
Yeah. And, okay, this application didn't pull it out as much as we thought. Let's go ahead and go to Milo.
Yeah. He told me...
It's not dumping $40 an acre on something.
Well, the first initial reaction is pump more in.
Okay.
And he asked me about that. Yeah. Put more in on, which is anaerobic. I'm pretty dang sure, like 95% he was in the 300s, as many pounds as he had on there. 300 pounds.
On wheat?
Yeah. And I was like, no, we ain't doing that anymore. At some point, you got to pull the plug.
About 250 pounds ago.
This guy loves anhydrous. Anhydrous is like crazy.
Wow.
And in fact, he starts We call them sweeps. Some people call them plain plows. Some people call them undercutter. You got one sitting out here.
I have a frog.
You have a frog, which is a big sweep.
I love it. I'm still going to do something dope with that frog. I have this idea. I want to do like a sign. I thought about getting a really comfortable chair and mounting it on that top plate of that frog. Mm-hmm. Just have like a recliner chair.
Well, it'll hold it up because it's 6 feet wide.
Oh, yeah, darn right. It'll hold it up.
Lot.
Oh, you can park a loader bucket on that thing and hold it up. Yeah, no, I went out to Ben's side tangent. I love talking about my frog. This is so going to be real. I love talking about my frog. So I went out to Ben's. This was 2 summers ago. And I wanted to see what it was like in Western Kansas. Never been there. Same state. How different can it be? Real different. So I go out there and get the full Western experience. Eat at Mama Fina's, see irrigated corn, climb on pivots, all this stuff I'd never experienced before. He had corn with like 5 tiller stalks coming out of it, all of them with a viable ear. It was wild, and then we're this shop. There's a scrap metal pile, as all of our farms have, a pile of junk somewhere. And I'm like, dude, what is that thing? He said, what do you mean? I said, that thing right there. And he's like, I'm like, that's like the biggest cultivator blade I ever seen. He said, that's a sweet plow. It's a frog. I said, that is a what? He said, that is a frog. I'm like, okay. What are you going to do with it? And you're like, I'm going to take it to the scrap metal bin or scrap dealership because it's bent. I'm like, looks fine to me. You're like, it's bent. I'm like, okay, can I have it? And Ben gave me a frog. So we loaded this frog in the back of my pickup truck, and I came home and sitting outside my shop. I love that thing.
Yep.
I love my frog.
It's been like 2 years.
I know.
It's still
sitting there. Well, that thing it ain't going to blow away.
Yeah, no.
It ain't going to blow away.
Nope.
Anyway. What was I talking about?